The 2023 Spooky Empire Mayhem event was recently held at the Doubletree Hotel, directly across from Universal Orlando. This included the tattoo room, and lots of celebrities, but of course, lots of vendors. Personally, I was looking forward to the vendors the most, but it was pretty cool to see different celebrities from TV shows, movies, and other areas. And of course, I had to watch Women Behind the Horror, the Universal Orlando Halloween Horror Nights panel. I didn't record the entire panel because of technical problems, but here are a few clips from it.
It's probably something you might not know is that we are also spooky all year round. Literally, while you're celebrating July 4th, we'll be planning next year's Halloween. While you're singing Jingle Bells, we'll be drilling Halloween.
Don't do that either.
Our responsibility is to sit in a very small room together and come up with some great creative concepts collectively. And then we go through the whole creation process with some very talented women up here. And then we go through casting, the daily operations of the run, and then we do it all over again with a big smile on our face, ready to scare everyone again. So that's me.
I'm a character costume designer for Halloween. I get to work closely with show director to come up with like the concept of characters, which is really cool from the inception of each one. And then I get to, of course, design the costumes and work with talented makeup artists.
Different path. I started in film and television, did television commercials and TV pilots that no one ever saw for many years. And just picked up a fun little summer gig doing Halloween and Christmas. And then all of a sudden, 15 years later, I couldn't be having more fun and being more surrounded by great people. Just thankful for this event and being able to flourish with it as you did. And look forward to the next 10 or 15 years.
Growing up, I always went to the theme parks, all of them, enjoyed every minute of it, and I always was excited to find out behind the scenes. I was always curious, how does that work? How do we do it? How do they do it? So I have a background in theater. I did theater all through high school and college. And I told my parents I'm going to be an art major, and they went, what? And I went, no, trust me, I got it. So I wanted to be a scenic painter, and I dwindled a little bit in interior design. And through the theater, I always liked being a techie. I wear black, I'm in the back seat, I don't like being on stage and the lights. Not my jam, but I love creating all of that cool stuff. So when I started at Universal, I applied to be a coordinator at Halloween Horror Nights. And I was offered the job, and I was super excited, super overwhelmed. I didn't know what to expect. And the best part was that I was in events. So I got to see the streets, I got to see the houses, I jumped all over that place. And my first year was year 26, Chance's year. And I got this bug and this itch that I was like, okay, I gotta figure out how I get into this. And biggest piece of advice I can give people, I was willing to sweep floors. I did not care, just get me in the room. Get me in the room, I'll pick up the trash. And over 7 years it took, and now I'm finally here, so. Yeah.
I also was in theater too. I actually grew up in Orlando though, so I think the first time I went to Halloween Horror Nights I was about 15 and was pretty much obsessed since then. But then I moved to New York, worked off Broadway, worked in some films, some TV, a little bit of literally everything you could do. Decided to start a family, so I was like, oh, I should probably go back to Orlando. And I was like, the only thing I'm going to do in Orlando is be a costume designer at Universal. So I was like, okay, let's do this. So it worked out. But luckily for me, it really did. I moved back in like 2016. So since then, I've been working with these beautiful people, designing beautiful things. So really happy about it.
So I started at Universal in 2018, but before that, I'm originally from the Chicagoland area. I worked in haunted houses since I was 17. So I was a performer, a scare actor. Up there we call it haunters. Yes. Woo, stage door. Yeah, so I started off as a performer. When I first started there, though, I wanted to do makeup initially. But then they kind of just, when you work in a local haunted house, you kind of do everything. So I was, helping with makeup, jumped in and performed, and then it escalated from there. I wanted to get better at makeup. I ended up moving from that haunted house to another one in Northwest Indiana and helped run a haunted house. And then I moved down here because I had a couple of friends that worked at Universal, and they said, "Hey, we're hiring." And I was like, "Yeah." So, one thing led to another, and now I'm here, and I love it. And now I'm designing awesome makeups for one of the coolest Halloween events ever, in my opinion.
I don't have anything that relates to any part of that. My background is actually sports medicine. And if you know anything about sports medicine, your entire job is to try to mitigate risk. Try to make sure everybody's out there, they're healthy and at the top of their game all the time. Long story short, that skill set landed me various positions within various productions in high-risk positions that deal with like pyro and effects and things like that. So I started back in 2011 with Universal. About 15, 20 pounds ago, I could fit into really tight spaces, and I could really help out with getting some of those effects in places because our designers pack as much as they can into these houses. So that was my skill set, cable management, and I could fit in these really tight spaces, and I knew how to make sure it was going to be safe. Through there, I've been so thankful to have a career at Universal. It's a place where I've literally written my job description and been able to go after whatever it is that I wanted. And to be up here on stage with these lovely ladies, a lot of what I've been able to accomplish and do, they've been a part of the whole entire ride. I couldn't have done it without them. So my advice to you is when you start to figure out what you want to do, whatever you do, make sure that you surround yourself with amazing people and they will bring you up.
So, kind of different, but not really. I'm originally from New York, and I had a huge passion for live music, so I found myself in music business and studying that. I traveled here a lot because I loved boy bands from Orlando.
And still does.
And I still do. But I found myself at Halloween Horror Nights in 2003, and I said, "What is this? This I could love more than boy bands. And I have to be part of that." So I tried for a very long time, and I moved down here to Orlando and auditioned, and I started as a character at Halloween Horror Nights in 2008. Shout out to the schoolhouse. That was my street. I was this character for quite a few years, and I had amazing people leading me, like Kirsten. And Kirsten kind of supported my career in the beginning there and kind of took me under her wing and taught me how I can learn more about leadership roles at Universal. And then I started to seek out coordinator, assistant stage manager, and then I found myself into my dream job, which is being the production manager of Halloween Horror Nights and working with all of these amazing people that I'm inspired by.
For me, like I said, it was honestly surrounding myself with people that, had skill sets and things that I aspired to. That was huge. Yes, the tech side is very male heavy, but we have some incredible women that are within tech. Lighting designers. There's one in particular. I'm sure she's here tonight, but it's amazing to see these women in those spots. Do I want to be up here in front of all of you guys? No, I'm sure you can tell my voice is a little shaky. But for me, it's really important that we do have that representation. For any, my daughter and anybody else out there that's thinking about it, you can do it. And just make sure that, those that are supporting you, you talk with them because you will have imposter syndrome. There will be those times where you feel like, why me? Why do I get to do this? Out of all the people on the planet, I'm in this position. It can get overwhelming sometimes. I was talking to somebody today and I was like, man, this is humbling, So taking that time to talk to people when you do feel that way, I think is probably the biggest word of advice I could give to you. Don't ever think that you're alone in that, because we've all been there and we all have our own ways of working through that.
Also about looking at the people that inspired you. Like I said already, a lot of the people on this panel inspired me to pursue this career. So I just took pieces away from the things that I admired about them and put that into play, into practice, but made it my own as well. And then I take the time to learn from the people around me so that they understand that I respect them and I can earn that respect back. And know that we're in this together, and it's really just a partnership. You know, it's not really about man or woman, really. It's really about empowering who you are and being proud of the work that you do and what you bring to the table and celebrating that every day.
Stephanie, do you want to talk a little bit about kind of your perspective of that, and then also because you've come from kind of previous horror experience before Halloween Horror Nights, what this genre has kind of meant to you?
I guess the horror genre in general has pretty much been 90% of my life since, since coming like right out of high school. Being in this industry has been, like you were saying, it's very humbling, and the way I know that I'm in the right place or I'm headed in the right direction with this career is that if I feel uncomfortable and I feel like if I feel uncomfortable and I'm nervous and I'm like, I don't know if I should be doing this, that's how I know I'm in the right spot and I should be doing this. I don't know if that's big anxiety.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
knowing that even in those moments where you're double, thinking yourself, or you feel like, I'm not really sure this is the thing for me, and being able to stop and say to yourself, well, I'm here for a reason. Somebody believed in me, somebody put me here, and I gotta tap into what that is and make this happen. Yeah.
Yes, great.
Kelly, do you want to talk a little bit, since you've been with Halloween for a while, sort of about how the event has grown and how the genre has, improved for us?
Wow, yes, actually, just going from, we had just a couple weekends at one point, right? And now this year we are at 43 nights. 44, I'm sorry, 44. 44, and it's the most.
Got a cheat sheet.
Thank you, I can't see it, I declare.
September 1 to October 30.
But there's something to that just screams how just empowering this event is and how much this event means to all of you, just as much as it means to all of us. That we're able to put it on for 44 nights is absolutely incredible. And, when I leave my house and my kids are like, have a great day and you're gonna go build Halloween. And I'm driving to work thinking, I am doing with these ladies and with several others, one of the coolest things, building one of the best Halloween just environments and worlds that we have in this entire universe is just super, super exciting, and it makes me smile every day. I can't say how much I enjoy just being around everyone that we work with, being around all of the different the techs and makeup and costuming and production and all of these teams that just work hand in hand to make this possible for 44 nights. It's incredible. It's grown so much, and it's because everybody enjoys it, and we love doing this for all of you.
Kirsten, Melissa, one of you want to kind of share with us what your favorite thing has been that you've worked on? Any original house shows, Street Zone?
I have two. And these were big moments in my career at Universal. I started as a decor tech. And I got a big break of bringing you guys the 25th anniversary Jack Show. The first moment that I got employed to create the vision and help paint the picture from my brain. And it was amazing. I got to travel, I got to go to Sarasota, I got to meet some cool carnies and circus people and learn, what it means to them to bring this stuff and bring that authenticness was amazing. And, it was kind of a cool show and everybody loved it, right? The next following year, I got to decorate our first 10th house. We had 9 houses for many years, and then the 10th house came up, and our staff said, oh, no, that's too many. And I came in, and I got to decorate that 10th house, so covered Seeds of Extinction. Halloween that picture and be a bigger part and bring this to you guys. I mean, part of the joy for me is looking in this crowd and knowing that you guys love this so much. Like, I get to do something that everyone's gonna love and they're gonna appreciate. And
that's what makes it all work.
So last year, I was an art supervisor under Jane Weinwer, who is
The women that have come before us.
she taught me everything I could ever need or know. She prepared me very well for this job. And I'm out in the field with her, and sometimes, like, people get crazy ideas. And you look at them and you go, are you okay? Seriously? So last year, one of our most successful streets ever in Hollywood was the Graveyard. That was, I remember Jane Whitemore, my art manager at the time, going, we need branches. We need a lot of branches. And I'm like, branches? What? We go to landscaping and we say, hey, we need your trimmings. We need branches. We'll start collecting branches. And they're like, where do you want us to put them? She's like, pile them up. Just pile them up. So we go out there one day to look at the pile, and the pile is pretty big. And she goes, we need more. So I'm like, are you sure? Like, we need more branches. I'm like, okay. So we get more branches. So install comes, and that night I have the team, and I'm like, branches everywhere. Everyone cover every surface with a branch. So towards the end of the night, I'm like, okay, we're looking good. Jane comes out and she goes, we need more branches. And I'm like, Jesus, woman, branches. So I'm like, okay. So the next night, spend a whole other night doing branches. At the end of the night, she goes, I think we need a few more. And I'm like, oh, God, woman, like, you are crazy. And sure enough, we needed more branches. And she was right. And she just had this eye, and she just knew. And sure enough, I thought my team was like done with branches. They were like, we're done. And we were done. Jane said we were done, and it came out amazing. It was one of the best streets we've ever had in that. Always remember, more branches.
And I'm gonna forget the name of it, but I'm so bad with names. I'm looking at Kelly. The Hollywood zone that was like botched plastic surgery. And I was able to do several designs for that, and the best part about it is we were just in a room and we're like, what is the grossest stuff I can come up with? So I was like, okay, how about intestines outside on a cape and it's all inside lining of a stomach? And everyone's like, yeah. I would even be like, yeah, that's our group, you know? And then it was like muscle corset with the neck coming out, and then it was a hat with hands all over and their fingers sticking out. Everyone's like, perfect. So, I mean, that was so much fun to do because we could literally be like, this, yeah, okay. I look so gross, but also somehow like high fashion model-esque too. So like the clothing could be great, but also blood everywhere. Those are like my favorite things to mix.
Yeah, so my last year was actually my first time being the production manager on Halloween Horror Nights, so I have to use something from that year. So I'm going to use Dead Man's Pure Winter's Weight. I think that is a true testament of what the incredibly talented people at Universal can accomplish. It really, really showed off every little piece of what can be done. There was so much integration between tech and costuming and makeup team, everything down to the tiniest little barnacle or piece of decor in each room. It was so period correct. It just really filled the space. If you looked in the little tiny details, the fish that were all around and that fish smell, and it just really flexed every single muscle. It was raining in a house. Come on. And it was just the coolest thing to be part of, and just to see it go from a design on a paper to seeing it live in that space and be so magnificent and so wonderful, and hearing people's reaction when they walked in for the first time was just so incredible. And every time you just learn something new about it. So that's my favorite for sure.
So I think it's worth talking about for us, what is important to us as women in this industry and helping Halloween Horror Nights be what it is. What do we think that the positive impact is of having so many strong women involved in this and making Halloween happen?
Actually just talking about this right before we came on stage, and we said, every single one of these ladies up here, I know who to go to if I need something. If I need money, hey Nicolette, I need money. Kelly, what do you want this performer to do? How do you want them to look? Hey Melissa, this vendor, they won't listen to me. Melissa's like, don't you worry. But again, each one of us, like I know if I'm in the field and I'm like, I need help. okay, I can go to this person, I can literally go to any one of them up here and know who to go to. And it's empowering to know that we are the people that make this happen.
I love that, thank you. I will say for me personally, being a woman in this field and especially at Universal in particular and with Horror Nights, it's not a place where you need to be anything other than who you are, right? So Halloween brings out the best in all of us, right? I see you out there. I mean, those of you dressed up, looking amazing, and getting to become who you truly are on the inside, on the outside, which I know we all love to do that on Halloween night, right? It's why Halloween is such an amazing holiday. But for us, it's a lifestyle. We get to carry that with us. And while the world is becoming much more accepting to those things now, which is amazing, and we got progress to make, I think here at Universal Orlando and what we do with Halloween is such a great example of that, of putting a platform out there for people to be who they are and represent who they are on the inside, on the outside, and kind of express those spooky, creepy, scary, yelly, whatever it is that you have in there that you can't really do in your day job. Or, you know, we have people that perform for us that are, you know, work at NASA as rocket scientists, and we've got grandmothers, and we've got students that are going to school during the day and then working 8 hours with us overnight and sleeping for 2 hours and doing it again. So, you know, I just think that what we do as women in this industry is just as important as what we do as people in this industry, and what Halloween is able to bring to, you know, the world at large. I think it's really cool, and we're all very grateful to be a part of that. Yeah. So since we're all, you know, of those people that we get these polos, so as management teams, we get these cool polos, and they say Halloween Horror Nights staff on the sleeve. So we learned after years of these polos that we need to put that on this side, because when you go through the McDonald's at 2 a.m, they see that and they really want to ask you questions about what you do, and you just want to eat your cheeseburger and get some sleep. So the question I will pose to you ladies is, what are some of the conversations that have come up for you when people find out that this is what you do?
The first question is usually, when do you start?
Right now.
And they're always very surprised when in December I'm like, we've been started.
That's fair, that's fair.
Well, one of the coolest moments I've had in my career, I was actually downtown at a bar and sitting there unprompted. Some gentleman beside me started talking about how much he enjoyed going to Halloween with his son. They've been doing it for years, and it was the one time of the year that they knew they were going to get together, they were going to have fun, and it was so important to their relationship that it was just one of those moments where you're like, oh yeah, that's why I do this. You know, and it's for everybody up here. We do way more than just Halloween. So there's a lot of moments that happen at Universal where you guys are capturing in the background of your family photos, worked and, you know, many hours of overnights to make those backdrops happen for you guys. And to know that that's on your mantle, that those are pieces of your memories with your families. Those are the moments that matter. That's really cool.
Here's another look at more of the awesome vendors at Spooky Empire Mayhem 2023. Here's another look at the tattoo room, followed by the after party at the pool from the first night. I actually didn't get to go to the after party on the second night because I had to wake up early for work on Sunday. Hooray.